Good day, everyone. This is your friend, Dr. Arlie Macasiano Imperio, and we have a very special lecture today that I am so excited about. This lecture will address those who are already between the ages of 65 to 75 years of age. These are the baby boomers who were born between 1945 to 1965. These are millions of babies worldwide, and wherever this group of people move, it affects society, the economics, everything. For example, during the first 5, 10 years of life, the focus was on baby shoes, baby food, baby toys, right? And then when the baby boomers were on their age of about 30 years of age, they are now building houses, lands, condominium units. So there is a boom in the real estate. So the key question is where are the majority of the baby boomers are right now? And they are those who are aged between 65 to 75. So if you are a baby boomer with this age category, this lecture is for you. If your parents are in this age bracket, they should get the information that we will be discussing today. So this could be your uncle, aunties, or even your grandparents. And if you are on your, let's say, 20s, 30s, you will learn a lot about what we'll be discussing today because soon you and I will be within this same category. So the most important thing to realize is this concept of prevention versus getting the best treatment. For example, look at the slide. In red is you and me. All of us, you and I, would like to have a better life, long life, quality life. However, there are three elements that can lead to premature death. And number one, it's heart attack, so it's the heart. Number two is stroke, that's the brain. Number three is cancer. These are involving almost any organ of the body. Now, when you talk about mortality rates, we are referring to death. And since we know that there is no treatment for death, we should give priority to these top three causes of mortality. So the goal is to avoid them because the treatment, which is usually the ICU or hospital-based, let's say, management, is very expensive. And you must have sufficient health insurance coverage to be able to cope up. So the goal is prevention, to avoid it as much as possible. And I would suggest there are three major elements. Number one is advanced checkup. You do this every year. We refer to this as the annual physical examination. And then if there are findings, then we can treat it quickly. And usually when the disease is just starting, it's more curative, it's more manageable. And we do this in advance. And a part of this a program are the health screening procedures, whereby simply answering some questions in a questionnaire, for example, we can make an assessment if you have the risk factors that can lead to cardiovascular disease, that may lead to cancer. So we can take advanced action by reducing the risk factors or by moving around it or by avoiding it. And one of the strategy to better health is the focus on biological support. Biological means the biology or the function of the body. Others may even call this functional medicine. And we will be focusing on biological food. In contrast, that when one gets sick, he has to take medicines, right? Pharmaceutics or pharmaceutical. And if it cannot be addressed with the medical approach, then we might consider surgery and even to the point of organ transplantation to replace the organ. or even do stem cell, let's say, approaches. So the focus is on biological food. And one biological food that I would like to emphasize are the nucleotides. So if I may ask you, have you heard about the nucleotides? And oftentimes, when I ask that question, I would hear, what is that? They don't even know about it. But this is my mission to educate you on it because it's so important, as you now see in the diagram. And for our education, the nucleotides are the building blocks of the DNA and the RNA. So we focus first on the DNA, deoxyribose nucleic acid. And the DNA contains the blueprint of our life, the code of our life. That's why it's so important that adequate supply of nucleotides are there. And the DNA is inside the chromosomes. The chromosomes are inside the nucleus. We have 46 chromosomes. We inherited 23 from our mother, 23 from our father, so the total is 46 chromosomes per cell. And most cells of the body have a nucleus and therefore have chromosome. And there are a few cells that does not have, let's say, nucleus, like the red blood cell, for example. So virtually almost all cells of the body have nucleus, and inside the nucleus are chromosomes. Inside the chromosomes are the DNA. Inside the DNA are the nucleotides. Now, the nucleus is in the cell, as like we mentioned, and the cell is inside the tissue of every organ. And organ are always part of the systems of the body. We have 11 systems in the body, like digestive system, many organs. Circulatory system, many organs. Respiratory system, many organs. So we focus on one particular organ, and that organ is made of tissue and cell, as we have just covered. So all of the systems, all of the organs are within you and me. So the top three causes of mortality, the major organ is the heart. Number two is stroke, the major organ is the brain or the nervous system. And then number three, let's say cancer may involve usually the breast, the colon, the prostate, the uterus, but practically it can affect almost any organ. Therefore, our goal is to support all the organs of the body at the molecular level, which is the DNA and the nucleus. So I hope this slide gave us an overview of the vital importance of being more healthy. Now, the focus would be on how to delay aging. When it comes to aging, as of 2020, as of 2013, we were able to focus on 9, let's say, areas that can lead to aging. So we call this the 9 hallmarks of aging. These are a set of cellular and molecular changes that occur as organisms age, leading to a decline in physiological function and increased vulnerability to disease. So the endpoint, the foundation is at the molecular level, and we just showed that the DNA is at the molecular level and the nucleotides are inside the DNA. Now, among the 9 hallmarks, number 1 is genomic instability. So genomic referring to the gene which is inside the chromosome. And the gene is made up of DNA, and as we emphasized, inside the DNA are the nucleotides. So when there is genomic instability, that can lead to aging. And then as of 2023, it's now 2024, so that's last year, they added 3 more. 3 new proposed cause of aging. And so there are now 12 for the moment. Now, this is now the quick description of the 9 hallmarks of aging. The picture is well descriptive, and I would like to thank the one who posted this and give credit. I just got this in the internet, And notice when we were born, we're lying down. And in about 6 months' time, we started to sit up. And then we started to crawl. And eventually, at about 11 months, we stand and learn how to walk. That's why when the child learns how to walk and run, he would always take that opportunity to enjoy that particular, let's say, function. And then we become an adult, young adult, and eventually, as you will see, we eventually get old. So there are nine. And what we are focusing upon now is genomic instability. So this is the same story, only it's more biochemical or more detailed. There are two major causes of DNA damage. If you look at the upper left, exogenous damage. Exogenous mean the cause is outside the body, like sunlight, ultraviolet. You take chemicals, exposed to chemicals. That's exogenous. Smoking, for example, pollution. And then you have, look at the right side, endogenous. That means it's happening inside the body, like free radical formation, the oxidative stress. These are the side effects of oxygen activity. They will damage the DNA. And if they are not adequately repaired, damage will ensue. And inside the nucleus, where the DNA is present, will be damaged. And then in the cytoplasmic area of the cell, the nucleus is at the center of the cell. The cytoplasm is like the factory site. The nucleus is like the headquarters. In the cytoplasm, there are powerhouse organelles. We call this the mitochondria or mitochondrium. It has its own DNA. And this can be damaged if not destroyed. And both, if are not repaired, would lead to the pathology, leading to pathology means the cause of the disease. It can lead to cancer, it can lead to senescence. Senescence means aging, and apoptosis. Apoptosis may be affected or decline because the cell has its own cycle. The moment it has completed its work, it has to die. That's apoptosis. Now, if that is not, let's say, happening as it should, that can lead to serious health consequences. And then look at the upper right, healthy cell. And this will now summarize everything. When the DNA is damaged, the DNA has to be repaired, right? If the rate of DNA damage is equalized by the rate of repair, then it ends up being healthy. However, when the rate at the right lower portion, if the rate of DNA damage is greater than the rate of repair, it will eventually lead to disease. So it's very important that the DNA, when damaged, has to be repaired, because DNA instability or genomic instability is one of the hallmarks of aging. And so this knowledge, this lecture is for everyone, because everybody is getting older starting from age 1, right? But usually when we are young, we don't notice. But the time is ticking. So when the child had his first birthday, we say, "Come to the birthday of my child. He is now 1 year old." Take note, 1 year old. We don't say that he is 1 year younger, right? He is now 1 year older. So getting old is a natural history for everyone. That's why this lecture is important, because all of us are getting older by the year. And so the idea is to take action to delay aging, enhance longevity while we are still younger and while we are still strong. So here is one journal. The title is Nucleotide Deficiency Promotes Genomic Instability in early stages of cancer development. So the focus here is the amount of nucleotides that has to be produced to support body function. If there is lack, then there will be imbalance or weakness or instability in the genomic area or genes or even the DNA. And then the Nobel Prize in Chemistry 2015. When the DNA is damaged, it has to be repaired, right? The three mechanisms of repair, as researched by three scientists, got recognized in 2015. Nobel Prize in Chemistry. So the three scientists are Thomas Lindahl. He studied base excision repair. Base are the nitrogen bases, let's say the DNA and RNA. So the base actually is the nucleotide, to be more, let's say, liberal in our description of the nucleotide DNA or nucleotide RNA. So when the base becomes weak, for example, then we replace it with a new one. So that's base excision repair. And then we have mismatch repair, because the bases, they go in pairs. Cytosine is matched with guanine. Thymine is matched with adenine in the DNA. And in the RNA, it's uracil matched with adenine. Now, if there is a mismatch, that has to be corrected, because that will affect the DNA and RNA function. So Paul Mudrid studied mismatch repair. And then the third scientist, researcher, Asi Shankar, studied nucleotide excision repair. So this involves many, let's say, parts of the nucleotides. Unlike the base excision repair and mismatch, there are usually just a few, if not one or two. But when you, the problem is more, let's say, complex, then nucleotide excision repair is the mechanism that is now involved. And so Asi Shankar, let's say, made research in this area. So the Nobel Prize is a very prestigious recognition body for people who has discovered or worked on something that will benefit humanity. Examples of Nobel Prize awardee, like when X-ray was discovered, like when penicillin, antibiotic, was discovered, like when anesthesia was discovered. These are life-changing discoveries, and they are well recognized, let's say, by the Nobel Prize organization. So here are two videos. You can just search YouTube. The title is What Happens When the DNA Disappears. I recommend you watch that. And then you search DNA damage and repair. There are well done videos. So watch them, download them if you can, and learn how the DNA is being repaired, and learn how important the DNA is. That significant changes will happen in the body when the DNA disappears. So let me show this what they call one-page presentation. In one page, it summarized what we have covered so far. So you have the body made of organs, tissue, and cell. That is the gross anatomy. And then with the aid of the microscope, we look at the cell and we see the nucleus. And then inside the nucleus with the electron microscopy, we now see the chromosome. The chromosome, X-like structure inside each arm, which is the telomere. So there are 4 telomeres, are the genes, which is the DNA in array, one after the other. And then if you look at the DNA carefully, inside the DNA are the letters. These are the nucleotides, A for adenine, let's say C for cytosine, T for thymine, and the like. So all biology students, teachers, doctors, nurses, everything on medical science, they know this organization of the body, from the gross to the molecular. So when it comes to the molecular level, the foundation of the body is the DNA or the DNA molecule. And the building block of the DNA are the nucleotides. So these are the important points which I feel at least we should know. Why? Because this is how our body is organized. And when there are problems in each part, especially at the most subtle part, which is the molecular level, it will practically affect everything. Now, the good news is that it's available as food. The ingredients that will support the DNA is now available in the form of Imorigen. This was developed in Europe in 1983. That's more than 40 years ago. Where if you look closely, Imorigen ingredients are nucleotides, and that's what we're trying to focus upon. Nucleotides is so important because it's the building block of the DNA, and we forgot how important it was because even me, while I was studying medicine, I know this already. At that time, I'm not even aware that there is already supplementation with nucleotides. And but now the good news, it's now available. It's registered in the Food and Drug Administration in Europe, in the USA, in Singapore, in the Philippines, and soon it will be duly registered in all countries of the world. So the ingredients of Imorigen are nucleotides, which we are after. It has peptides like oligopeptides. It has amino acids. It has mineral zinc and iron. So we add this as nutritional support together with a healthy lifestyle to support the body's function, to repair itself, to recover from any damage, and to regenerate and to enhance body function. And so we look closely at one food supplement, which is the Imorigen liquid. And you will notice one of the benefits is that it supports DNA and RNA health. And the Imorigen liquid is 100 ml. You take 5 ml a day for adults. And for children, half of that, which is about 2.5 ml. And this is part of the nutritional support for our body. Okay, so I hope this brief presentation contributed to our understanding on how we can be more healthy. This is for private training and not intended for public consumption. There is no attempt to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent disease. If one has a medical condition, to always consult his attending physician. Health statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration, and we give credit to the images used for educational purposes, and there is no intention of copyright infringement. So this is your friend, Dr. Arlie Magaciano Imperio. If you'd like to receive my daily 1-minute video on how we can be more healthy, just click or subscribe to my website. It's dnahealthrx.com. And then just click subscribe or submit your email and I will send you my videos. God bless. Always remember that prevention is always better than getting the best cure. And always point to God, who is, or remember God, who is the source of our life and health. God bless until our next, let's say, lecture.